You're a grown man! He's a robot cat! Pull yourself together! Seriously.
Hi. I'm Bobby. I am a robot cat. Well, it would appear the world's first radioactive AI, Radiant Britt, is getting up to her usual fuckery, giving unsolicited parenting advice. Let us have a look.
Alright, you guys, so I was talking to a couple of my
Brittany? Are you wearing a rubbish bag? Never mind.
followers over on Instagram over the last few days about Jonathan and some of the content that he's been posting lately, and I figured it's a good time to make an update. I have covered Jonathan and Anna both previously in many other videos, but some of the reels that he's been posting are they fall into a little bit of a different category. It's not just showing your kids on Instagram and that's like the conversation piece. This is really kind of dark. He's posting this dark content that's...
Oh, here we fucking go. By the by, do be aware some of this may be triggering to my viewers, not because of the topic's behavior in her video, but because Britt herself makes it quite dark, using her own twisted imagination to do so. Never mind.
Especially his oldest child. And I will show you guys a couple of these, and some I might just need to explain because it's hard to get the full context while I'm also trying to blur the kids' faces out. But let's just start with the most recent. This shows his oldest daughter in the bathroom, and he walks in, and this is a trend. So I understand that there are trends on social media. I'm not a dinosaur.
I've not heard of any dinosaurs stomping around with large sticks up their asses.
Completely like miss the point of everything. But even if it's a trend, that doesn't mean that like you have to participate. Oh my God, what if I don't participate in this TikTok trend? I'm gonna not gain followers. I'm gonna lose followers. Like,
do take a breath. You are glowing again.
So to put your kids at the epicenter of that is a problem all in itself. But it shows his oldest daughter. She has water in her mouth and she goes and acts like she's breaking her neck, and it makes this cracking sound, and then the water comes out of her mouth.
It is a stupid trend indeed. Yet, pumpkin spice patty. How is any of this your business?
This is so disturbing. Not only is it triggering, there was no trigger warning put on this video before this content was shown, but it also shows, you know, his daughter is wearing this little tank top. She's just in a place where if you're going to put your kids on social media and they're at a certain age, they need to be properly dressed before they're participating in content. That is how
you notice what these bairns are wearing far too often.
I feel the proof speaks for itself. There are very dangerous people on social media who seek out this age range of children.
Is that not what you are doing when you stalk these families for hours a day? Wow.
And like when the kids are not properly covered or not wearing proper undergarments, and they do really bad stuff with this content. I don't need to spell it out for you guys because you understand where I'm coming from. But on top of that, then this whole idea of, you know, she's like breaking her neck and this liquid is coming out of her mouth. I don't know. This seems like something that a very specific person would find enjoyment out of this content, and Jonathan is giving it to them front and center for free.
Are you insinuating this dad is offering up his own daughter for the pleasure of perverts? Have you not considered the hypocrisy here? Do you not possess these videos of these children on your own phone? How else would you reshare their children multiple times per day?
He's been sharing a lot of content because they are currently on vacation, and obviously telling everybody exactly where they're on vacation and showing the rental that they have is a security risk, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. He posts this reel and it says, having fun at the pool with 3 of my kids, and they're kind of splashing around. Then he goes to trot into the room and put text on the screen and says, going to ask my teenager daughter to join us. And it opens the door and says, but she would rather sit in a dark room on her phone for the holiday. Number one, she's not a teenager. This girl is 10 years old.
All right.
It is his oldest child, but she's 10 years old. So let's not try to advance her age just so that you can do quirky TikToks and Instagram reels for your followers. She's 10 years old. She has 3 years to go before she is considered a teenager. A lot of people are calling him out in the comments section for this, but to me, it seems like he's trying to make characters out of his kids. And the role that his oldest child is going to play is the antisocial, not wanting to participate. She's different. She's, not like the other kids. That's her character in the show that he's making. And then we have E. And E is going through transition. That is that child's character. So we have the oldest child who is different and wants to be on her phone and isn't wanting to participate. Then we have the other child who is transitioning and going through that publicly, and that is that child's character on Jonathan.
Or, perhaps they possess their own individual personalities. They are still people, Britt. You act as if there is some sort of unlock feature on children. So, we are all simply mindless accessories until adulthood. Madam, do you not have a niece or nephew to borrow for the day? One day's experience is favorable to none. Never mind.
Show. And then the other two kids are, quote, the normal ones. He really focuses a lot on E and then this the oldest child that they have. The other thing that I think is interesting about this reel that he posted, he's showing the child in the room on the phone scrolling what is presumed to be social media. Why on earth does your 10-year-old have their own cell phone?
And, imaginary mum of the century has arrived.
Riddle me that. Now, I guess now is a good time to also talk about, I fully understand we are living in a world where kids getting cell phones, it seems like the age gets lower and lower. I've talked before about the Bark app. There are other apps that you can install on your kid's phone. I would hope that if a child is going to be getting a cell phone, that there is an app where the parent can see exactly what the children are doing on their phones, because they are targets. They are prime targets to have inappropriate encounters, especially if you're well known on social media.
You are quite literally demanding no parents allow their own kids to play games or use electronic devices.
Now, this could happen to any kid because we've heard of it happening to kids that are not on social media. It just so happens to, be that way. But Jonathan has heavily advertised his kids, and now you're giving them cell phones. Who knows what they're doing? So I hope that he does have an app, but since I don't know for sure, I can't say that he's definitely protecting his kids by having an app where he sees everything, every keystroke that is made on that phone, he has access to. I don't know. I hope so, but I'm not sure.
Jolly good. We have made progress. You finally admit that you have absolutely no fucking idea.
Like, why are we giving a 10-year-old a cell phone? And if we're giving a 10-year-old a cell phone, hopefully it doesn't have social media on it. I would hope that the cell phone is only for messaging parents and being able to send or receive calls from parents and trusted ones that are in your, circle. Jonathan loves to post really cringy content showing his kids. There's another reel that he posted, Life with 3 Daughters and a Wife. And basically they go through and take the money and then show back up with a bunch of bags as if to say all they do is shop and spend money. What a way to, you made all your money by exploiting your kids.
My God. It is a fucking video. Clearly the bloke loves his family and I've little experience with these creators. How do you know whether the man has a job? Well, it would appear you are still an impossible and bitter hag.
That is their way of making money. They have done it from the minute that their oldest was born. Their kids have been content. Their kids bought the house that they're sitting in. And Jonathan's Ferrari. Now, he also took his oldest, who, as a reminder, is 10 years old, to go get her second hole ear piercing. The only thing I want to say about this is, second hole, that's not that big of a deal to me personally. As a little bit of something that I have learned over time, and I figured that I could use this opportunity to share it with you guys, is if you are taking your kids to get their ears pierced, please do not take them to Claire's or Walmart or Piercing Pagoda.
That's what he did, is it? Show the video.
Any of these places that you can usually find in a mall, please go to a proper piercing parlor. Whether it's a tattoo and piercing place or just a piercing place, any establishment that is going to use a piercing gun.
She is so concerned about her AdSense revenue. She blotted out the word gun. LOL. As you drag others for profiting on YouTube. Never mind.
Is going to cause trauma, and it is actually a lot more painful to get it done that way than to go to a standard piercer where they simply pierce it with a needle. So I wanted to just throw that in there. You guys can do your own research. If you have kids that are coming up and you think that eventually they might want to get their ears pierced, that is something that you can do your own homework on and come to your own conclusion. And if you still decide to go to Claire's or one of these places, that is your decision. But based on everything that I have read and educated myself about, I would not take my child or myself to a piercing pagoda kind of place.
We all appreciate your common knowledge advice. Much gratitude for your contribution to absolutely nothing.
Jonathan, to me, is so thirsty to remain relevant that he is willing to make his kids kind of characters in his show. And, you know, by like putting his oldest kid in this box, by saying that she's a teenager even though she's only 12, and making her personality to be this.
Wait. You just said the girl was 10. You made a whole show of it. Now she is 12.
It's like, oh, she's different. She's not like the other kids. And then E with the transition and sharing all of that and all of this, it's just it's tragic to witness. And I don't check in on Jonathan's page very often, but just the simple fact that he has over 1 million followers on Instagram and tons on YouTube and tons on TikTok, these are the people that are given platforms. And I'm going to do a separate video because I want to talk about the idea of like toxicity on social media and how it seems like the most toxic, deranged people are the ones that are getting these really large platforms. And then people want to get mad, but it's like, well, I mean, y'all kind of gave them the platform that they're standing on. So until we stop accepting toxicity and exploitation as a form of making content, it's not going to get any better.
And resharing their toxic content on monetized videos is exactly the damned same. You idiot. Wow.